welcome back to NARU's channel. I'm Michelle. Thanks so much for tuning in for episode 2. So today we'll be going through the 3 pillars of community engagement that NARU is built upon. I have a little diagram here to go through with you guys, and hopefully we'll go through exactly what it takes to create a very engaging community where members stay for the long term. They invite other members to join, you have retention, you have referrals, all that good stuff, and how exactly you can set yourself up for success if you are a community builder or trying to start a community in your business. So let's get down to business. Number one thing that we would recommend when starting with engagement is finding a shared purpose amongst your members. So this will serve as the foundation of your entire community. If your members know exactly why they're in your community and what they're there to achieve for themselves, there's intrinsic motivation for them to show up. It's easier to motivate them to attend activities, easier for them to attend events, more helpful for them to understand where the resources come in to help them achieve the goal as well. One of the challenges that we see with people creating a shared goal within their community is actually keeping track of those members' growth over time. If you're interested to start a community as well, we have a platform called NARU, and I'll also be running through exactly what NARU does in order to help you achieve all of the steps to create an engaging community as well. So the first step that we do is journey. So a journey is a way for your members to create a goal for themselves and to basically, put on the wall, like, what do they want to achieve? What are they there for? In order for you to keep track of your members' growth, you really need to know what are your members doing throughout the program or throughout the duration of their entire lifetime in your community. Another feature that we do to add on to that journey feature is streaks. So as you know, we talked about atomic habits very briefly last video, but the ability to create a habit will change, the results of what you do in your day-to-day life exponentially. Think of Snapchat, think of, TikTok streaks or streaks that you might use in other platforms. Basically, we encourage the users to come back, your member to come back to create momentum around their journey. So let's just say they wanted to go through a program to land a job, right? And maybe their journey is to submit a few job applications. That's part of the progress that they want to get through. And streaks will basically remind them every 2 or 3 days to basically come back and check in on how they're going within that personal development and growth. And that saves you as a community manager a lot of time from having to manually or one-to-one check in with members to see how they're going. But at the same time, you have access to understand where the members are throughout their progress and whether you need to step in order to help them. And so that's at the very top of the triangle here. We'll now move on to the second, which is micro interactions. As the name suggests, micro interactions are basically looking at the one-to-one conversations within your members. So if you think of your community as a hierarchy triangle, you basically sit at the top and all of your members sit at the bottom. If your members aren't speaking to one another, there isn't a community. You have an audience, basically. You're able to broadcast something from one to many, but there's no one-to-one connections internally that's happening without you being there. And so a highly engaging community creates those one-to-one connections even when the top layer or the top person isn't there to start those conversations, and that's where micro interactions exist. So as long as you have members who are relating to each other in a similar way, have similar interests, similar goals, maybe based in a similar location, there will automatically be conversations around their lifestyle. And especially when it comes to them creating a journey already, they're easily able to find other people to keep them accountable on that journey. One of the challenges that we see with micro interactions is generating that one-to-one conversation. It's very, very tedious for a community manager to have a conversation with every single member. And what we do in NARU differently to other community platforms, we have something called clubs. A clubs is basically a small group within your existing community, which is generated around commonality or common interests or common program and everything that makes people kind of bond together on a more kind of personal level. So let's just say you have a program that you want to have for a group of people within this design cohort. Basically, you can create a club for these design cohort, career leaders, or you call them whatever you want. And those groups of people can keep each other accountable because they already have a shared goal in place. And now we also have chat functionality. So if people do want to have a one-to-one conversation on NARU, they can. And that then dives down into the day-to-day of checking in with one another, helping one another when the other person feels a little bit lost or, confused or maybe lonely. And so there's a lot of that friendship that's generated through that commonality and frequency of people interacting with one another for the long route, basically going towards an end goal together. The last but not least on my triangle is the value delivery. So as you might think, you have a group of people who have similar goals, you have them talking to one another. The final thing that you as a community manager need to basically excel is how can you deliver value to these members so that you can help all of them, faster or more efficiently in a way that they couldn't do themselves. Let's just say you are an expert in helping people land a job in design, right? It's very possible that these members are now going to, try to find help from you or trying to find support from whatever you can teach them about design or about portfolios, about, talking in interviews, all of that stuff. So basically, it's your job now to create resources that are both accessible and relevant to these members. And a lot of the challenge that we see in members trying to find the right resources is that things are kind of everywhere and at the same time. It's very confusing having to flip through different platforms, flip through different tech stacks, different logins, and eventually when you lose members along that journey of trying to go through different platforms, it becomes more admin work for you to then figure out where members are kind of dropping in that conversion of joining the event or joining the workshop. So what we do in NARU differently is we have all of that in one place. You're able to create an event, to link it out to a Google Meet link or a Zoom link if you'd like, so members exactly know where to go. You're able to create resources and link from anywhere on the internet. If you want to link a podcast, you can link a YouTube video or even an article or a blog or anything that you want to share with them. You basically just need a URL link and then that's already good to go on the NARU platform. So that's basically all that we encapsulate within this 3-pillar framework. Obviously, when we think of these 3 things together, we have what is called an impact-focused community. Now, this is the kind of communities that we want to focus on in NARU because we think that we will generate these 3 foundations and basically move that momentum for you in order for you to generate that impact. With the shared purpose, your members know exactly why they're in the community. They're there to achieve a goal for themselves. They're intrinsically motivated. And now with micro interactions, you get these intrinsically motivated people to talk to one another and to share the interests and share the goals. There's vulnerability, there's acceptance, there's encouragement, there's a supportive environment for people to fail gently and to get back up. And then you have the value delivery, last but not least, in order for you as a community manager to help them, level themselves up, help them learn something that they haven't been able to learn before, or help them improve their lives in some way. And when 3 of these flywheels are working together, there is this kind of positive impact circle effect where each of these things kind of impact one another, and we're really focused on driving that members' growth as well as your community's growth. We focus on generating a lot of movement within your members, within your business's growth, so that your members can go the long route, remember you for the impact that you've given them in their lives, and hopefully refer some other of their friends to you as well. Last but not least, I just wanted to do another quick shout out that we are helping 10 founders or 10 community builders with building a community in 3 months. If you're interested, please look at the description below, or reach out to us on one of the social media links that I'll leave as well. We are really interested to help any founders who are interested in building a community from scratch, or if you already have a community, to take that to the next level using the framework that I just showed you guys. So yeah, if that's interesting to you, please let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.